Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this update I want to give you a little bit of an idea of the kind of day trading we did this morning, with an emphasis on the way that we scanned the averages first. And we did a quick scan of the averages. We had sort of a vanilla gap, which is to say we opened, in this case, higher than the previous session closed. So a very mild bullish morning, very mild. And as we progressed through the morning, we started to find the leaders and laggards in the indices. And that's a really important thing. It was a little frustrating that the first trade of the morning, which is usually my favorite, there's usually a first trade. It could be right at the bell, which needs quick reflexes and quick indicators, or it could be within the first 15 or 30 minutes of the morning. Clearly a volatile time of the day, but sometimes that first trade of the morning is a pretty magical one. This one was frustrating because there are key levels that I was looking for the market to remain above or below to confirm a short, but the very first thing we had was an HPMR short. And those of you that just took the class Saturday, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because these zones lit up on your charts. And if you followed the process that I taught you all, you knew to look and say, well, there's either nothing to do, which is a very important thing to know, or I can be short. What did we not do? What is ruled out? We are not allowed to go long. And that's an important distinction. A lot of traders, when they see a candle like this, the first thing they're going to do is jump in on the Momo train. This one absolutely went off a cliff, literally and figuratively. Never do we know that a short in this area is going to turn into the kind of candle that we had. But this is why I teach traders to scale out. And I want to show you, so what I do when I'm day trading in the rooms and when I'm trading in general, whether we're doing a macroeconomic breakdown like we do once a week, Tuesdays in my Sector Secrets Mastery, or whether I'm day trading in the futures room or day trading in the Sector Secrets Mastery room, which, by the way, we're going to be picking up more sessions with that come mid-July in the Sector Secrets Mastery room. Regardless of where you're with me, these are notes from the futures room. And you'll notice that, we were already getting a little bit of a mild gap, looking at ECB, BOE all coming up tomorrow. And my expectation, quite frankly, and you'll see it right here in the notes, was for a more narrow ranging day. Okay, so I'm setting some expectations so I can place my profit targets a little bit more sharply, right? And the first thing we saw 5 minutes in, indices are heading towards resistance, right? It's a lower probability setup. We had the consumer confidence number coming up at 10 o'clock. So what did we do? Well, you'll see how I balanced all that out at 9:40, all right? The S&P reached the HPMR zone, neutral trend. 5 minutes says it's okay to short or long puts, but it's a lower probability and should be taken with smaller size. And usually for my new day traders, I'll say, hey, reduce size in half. For my experienced traders, I'll tell them, reduce by a quarter, reduce by a third, or build a position using puts if possible and not minis or micros instead. So we'll find ways to control risk via position size or even the contract that we're trading, options and futures or micros versus minis. And there's the zones. We knew what our zone was, and that's when we start to build our position. So we made a high at 39.50 at 9:35. We made a high at 39.40. Or 39.48, sorry. We're just continuing to kind of hammer along this range. I mean, another 39.48 high, kind of tagging this HPMR zone, and that was the whole idea, to take advantage of that. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and you can see what else we were looking at. We had a nice quick little winner in crude, but I'm going to go back to the S&P because I'm going to show you how we keep up with it. So at 10 o'clock, we were looking at breaches, breach lower. Then we knew we wanted to scale out at 39.20 in the S&P. Okay. Then we wanted to move to a trailing at 39.30. That's right here. We never saw that 39.30 again. So as we were scaling out, first target, second target, and then trailing, right? What I ended up with is a 1/4 of my overall position that pretty much never got stopped out again. First target is proactive, second target is proactive, third target is usually time or getting trailing stopped out. And as you hear, reminded everybody, by 10:30, 10:27, I have not given up on the S&P, right? We're trailing. It's untouched, and we have plenty of time to scale out twice now, and we have a double red downtrend. What does that mean? Well, now the bears, the sellers, have traction, and all this is color-coded on the chart. All right? So I wanted to show you a little bit about, today's session, how I take notes to hopefully make it clear to everybody what I'm doing and what I'm looking at, and really remind everybody that sometimes I look at a candle like this, and it's so easy for me to say, if only I shorted on Friday, which I won't fade Fridays. That's a rule of mine. Don't fade Fridays. That's a trading rule in general. It's not a Ragheeism or anything. Don't fade Fridays. Monday, why didn't I short that, right? But instead, we took a short day trade. And unless we open significantly lower than today's candle, there's a pretty good chance, knowing what's on the economic calendar the remainder of this week. Let me show you something. Look at this calendar. Tomorrow, Lagarde, Bailey, Powell, 9 a.m. panel discussion. Then Lagarde's back at 11. Then we've got Bullard at 1:05. We've got plenty of central bank activity, not just U.S. central bank, but England and European. Then on Thursday, and this might be possibly even more important, core PCE. This is the Federal Reserve's #1 favorite inflation indicator. Cooler, equities rally. Worse than expected, hotter, as they say, higher, equities drop. We're going to watch the Fed Fund futures to get an idea of where those target rate probabilities are mapping to, because we're really getting a lot of certainty, a lot of clarity about where these rates are going to go and how quickly or slowly they're going to get there, depending on your point of view, but when they're likely to get there. That's going to open up more daily time frames. That's going to open up even for some of you wondering, at what point can I start putting some longer term cash to work? And that's going to put some of these weekly time frames in play as well. So I'm super excited about what we have coming up. We end the week with ISM manufacturing. That's an important hot zone as well. And then we go into a 3-day weekend. So this is not going to be a boring week. Lots of clarity is going to be found by the words of the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, and the U.S. Central Bank, the FOMC. Go into an inflation number, go into the manufacturing number. These are all important macroeconomic hot zones to get a better read on what the Federal Reserve is likely to do. I know this video ran a little long, but I really wanted to show you detail by detail what we have going on. I do want to mention that you still can join me for Friday's live trading for the class. You can watch the class during the week, replay, and then you can join me. We're going to trade this live during that live trading session. So if you want to join me, I think it's still at simplertrading.com/guide, simplertrading.com/guide, and I look forward to seeing you all in Charts and Coffee tomorrow at 9 a.m. and hopefully in that live trading session for our class, the first of 4 or 2, depending on whether you go pro or elite, starting this Friday, July 1, with a really red hot zone also in play. I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.